Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome back to Scents of South Jersey with me, Kellen, for another fragrance video today. Today I got something new for you guys. I got something special, something I've been working on for a while, and I'm really excited to bring this to you. What we're gonna do is take a look at arguably the greatest show in the history of television, and definitely the greatest show to ever come out of HBO. We are talking about HBO's original, The Sopranos. So what I've done is I've picked 5 of my favorite characters from the show. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about them, a little bit about their personalities, a little bit about their behavior, and then I'm gonna pair each and every single one of them with a fragrance that I've selected based on my opinion of them and why I think the fragrance fits them best, and I'm obviously gonna explain why. All of these characters share some similarities and they're all involved in a certain Italian subculture, or they may or may not be involved, but again, we have to remind you that this show is fictional. The characters on the show are fictional. Their behaviors and character traits are also fictional, so in no way, shape, or form do they represent the fragrances. Again, this is just for fun. This is my opinion, so if you wear these fragrances just like I wear them, don't think I'm associating these with that type of behavior. Again, it's just for fun. So before we get started, I do want to say if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button to support the channel, and also check out the Scents of South Jersey Instagram page for news and updates on the channel, and of course, photographs of fragrances from my collection. So let's get started. Okay, the first character I want to talk about is one of the younger characters that are in Tony Soprano's inner circle. This is his unofficial nephew, but it's really his cousin once removed, Christopher Moltisanti. Christopher Moltisanti is a young up-and-comer, especially in the beginning of the show. He starts out as an associate, and then eventually he gets made and he's a soldier, and then in the end of the show, he becomes a capo regime. But in the beginning, Christopher is obsessed with notoriety. He's really someone that wants to be known as a famous mob star. He really wants to get attention and he wants to prove himself to everybody. He dresses nice when he goes out, but he's also a casual guy. I kind of see him as someone to wear something very designer, something very mainstream, something that his girlfriend Adriana Lacerva would probably buy for him. So the fragrance I picked for Chris Moltisanti is Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. And again, this one, around that time, because again, this is the early 2000s and Chris has grown up through the 90s, is very, very popular. It's very mass appealing, very in vogue, popular, and Chris would want to be associated with that. He would want to wear a scent that everyone would like, that people would recognize as high-end designer, because this is still to this day expensive, even though it's a little older, and it's a very mass-appealing scent, and you could wear it any time. I don't think Chris really thinks about seasons, about when to wear what fragrances. He'd be more interested in maybe his clothes and his look, and of course his status in the family. So I think Acqua di Gio would be perfect for Chris Moltisanti, and I guess that would be a scent too that his girlfriend would enjoy too. So Acqua di Gio is the one I paired for Chris. Okay guys, the second character I want to talk about is one of the older members of the crew. He's been around since the 70s. He came up in the family and he's a respected soldier and eventually capo, and that is Paulie Walnuts Gualtieri. Paulie Walnuts is a very aggressive guy. He can kind of seem like a father figure to Tony and some of the other people in the family, but I know him most well for all his anger outbursts and his really rough temper. He's got a rugged personality, but he also likes to dress nice and be classy when he goes out. So Paulie's the type of guy that I would see wearing Paco Rabanne Pour Homme. Paco Rabanne Pour Homme is a classic men's barbershop masculine fougere scent. It came out of the 70s. Paulie Walnuts came up in the 70s, so it's got that abrasive opening where it's that real sharp thyme and sage, and that kind of reminds me of Paulie's personality. I see him as being the type of guy to wear this, splash it on. He probably had a splash bottle, and this would be his daily, everyday scent, and he would do it to either go commit extortion or go to Tony's house for dinner. It wouldn't matter. So, this is a great smelling scent. It's fresh, but it's very masculine, and I think evokes the kind of vibe from that era that Paulie had. And the best part is all these guys came up in the classic fragrance realm era, which obviously is my favorite fragrances to talk about. So Paco Rabanne Pour Homme was the one I picked. It was between this one and a few others, but I thought this best represents what I see Paulie Walnuts wearing. The dry down is nice and soapy, and it's very old school, and I think that fits him best. All right, so character number 3 from the show is Tony's right-hand man, his consigliere. It is none other than Silvio Dante. Silvio Dante is a childhood friend of Tony's. He came up in the family. He is co-owner of the Bada Bing strip club, and he's a high-ranking member of Tony's crew. Silvio always dresses nice. He's got the best hair, the funniest facial expressions in the show, and he's usually in a formal setting is what I see him, either a nice button down or a suit with a tie. He's around a lot of women all the time, being that he's a co-owner and manager of the Bada Bing Strip Club. He's around a lot of smoke all the time too, because you could smoke in there. He's in the back, he smokes cigarettes, he smokes cigars. So the fragrance that I picked with him, I think is gonna represent his character the most, given the fact that usually he's a little bit more reserved, but he will fly off the handle and commit some sort of violent act once in a while. And that's going to be Santos de Cartier. Santos de Cartier is an extremely classy, masculine, dark scent. And I think that that one represents him the best. It just smells smooth, but it's got this like dirty leather tobacco scent in there too. And I picture him just in the Bing, surrounded by cigar smoke, telling strippers what to do, also calling shots and answering to Tony only. So this is a great scent. It's a one that you could wear formally. And you know, if you're the type of guy you like to dress up a lot and you have that sort of Silvio Dante style, Santos de Cartier is a perfect scent for you. It smells so good. It just really has a dark tobacco masculine scent, and I could see him wearing this, you know, just given the environment that he's around often too. So whether he would wear it out formally, this would be his #1 signature scent. Santos de Cartier is the perfect scent for Silvio Dante. All right, so the fourth character I picked is one that is not as large in the show as the previous three. He's definitely a big character in the show, but his role is a little bit shorter than the other ones we spoke about. This character is Furio Giunta. He's one of my favorite characters. He's a gangster from Italy, actually, and in one transaction between the ruling figures in the organization in Italy and Tony, he is traded in some sort of agreement. So he comes over and he becomes one of Tony's #1 enforcers and, of course, his driver. Furio is a simple man, but he is La Cosa Nostra to the core. He definitely commits some violent acts for Tony and will go and collect money. He's got some of the coolest scenes in the show and is one of my favorite characters. So he's a masculine dude. He needs a masculine scent, but he also needs a very Italian scent. So I was torn between a few scents. I was thinking maybe Acqua di Parma's Colonia or Cerruti 1881, but I found one I think is better than both of those in terms of what would fit Furio Giunta the best, and it is Gianfranco Ferri from Men. I have to thank Mr. Miami Cuddles for turning me on to this one. This scent is amazing. It's like Acqua di Parma Colonia's turned up a notch on steroids. The stuff smells like citrus, but it's got this really musky dry down. It's definitely a serious scent for a serious guy like Furio. You could use it driving around. You could use it making collections. You could use it at a party that you have at your house, which Furio does. This is definitely like an exotic tree wood and citrus scent. It's my scent of the day, actually, so I'm gonna spray some on. The opening is just incredible, and it's extremely long lasting. Unfortunately, it's discontinued, but I still had to pick it for him because of the fact that it's extremely Italian, just like Furio, and very, very masculine, and I think it fits him the best. Oh man, it's so good. It smells like almost like a bit of orange, a little bit of cream in there, and then you get the citrus woody dry down, and that musk is just incredible. If you can get your hands on this, I got this as a tester bottle. You can see the tester box here. It was 18 bucks on eBay. It was worth every penny. That was actually a really good deal, but just make sure you check with the seller to make sure it isn't spoiled, because this is the second bottle. I had to send my first one back. But it's incredible. This is definitely something Furio would wear, and I think this fits him perfectly. All right, it's the last character I'm going to talk about, and obviously it's going to be the main one, Anthony, Tony Soprano, the boss, the person the whole show is centered around. Tony, there's a lot of different sides of Tony. He's got his family-oriented side, he's got his formal side, he's got his boss side, he's got his super angry freak-out side. Tony really needs to have a fragrance that fits all of those things. He's a very wealthy guy, so he's in a lot of settings with a lot of wealthy people in formal settings, but he's also a hardcore member of his organization, and he does commit acts of violence, and he does react in anger a lot. So we need something that is classy, that is a little animalic, that is formal, that is also high-end too. So I was thinking maybe at first Aventus, or maybe even Koros by Yves Saint Laurent. Aventus didn't exist in the era of Tony Soprano, so that's out. Koros is a little bit too loud. I don't see Tony Soprano wearing that. That one is a little bit too on the bravado side, but I needed to find something to fit him perfectly. Again, he's a boss. He was a capo, then a boss, so he's has to have a presence about him, a scent that everyone will remember, and you need something masculine. And I think the perfect scent for him would be Antaeus by Chanel. Chanel is one of my favorite designer lines, and this scent is really one of their roughest, most masculine scents, but also it's a very refined. It's not going to be as loud as Kouros is, but it's got notes like castoreum in it. There's a musky dirtiness to it, but there's also a slight sweet side, and I think that that blends really well with how Tony would behave in the show, and I think this fits perfectly for him. And it's high-end enough that maybe Carmelo would go out and buy it for him, or he would buy it for himself, but it's a good signature scent. Tony's often seen in a nice button-down or a suit, but I think this could be pulled off at any time, really. Maybe it's best meant for formal occasions, but at the same time, Antaeus definitely has a signature scent vibe to it where Tony could wear it at any point in time. It smells so good. Spray that in the air. Yeah, it's got just a dirty animalic vibe to it, but at the same time, it is clean. It's similar to Kouros in that regard. The scent's not similar at all, but its traits are very similar to Kouros, and I think this would be perfect for Tony, considering his status in life and in his organization. All right, guys, those were my picks for my 5 favorite characters from the show, The Sopranos. I really want to hear from you. Tell me what you think about the video. What you think about the character picks? What sense would you have picked for them? Do you agree? Do you disagree? If we like this video, I'm definitely going to do a part 2 because there's so many great characters in that show and so many fragrances we could pair with them. I just wanted to do something fun, something different outside of my regular reviews and lists. So if you enjoyed what you watched, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. Again, you don't know how much I do. I will see you all in the next video. And if you haven't seen The Sopranos, watch it. It's the greatest show of all time.